Hey everyone, it's me Erica, and today I'm going to do a book review on The City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This book follows a girl named Clary. In the beginning of the book, she is in a nightclub called Pandemonium, and she witnesses a murder. But here's the catch, no one else can see this murder happening except for her. She's automatically thrown into a world of paranormal creatures and shadow hunters. A short while later, on Claire's way home, she calls her mother and her mother tells her not to come home. When Claire finally arrives home, though, her apartment is just torn apart and her mother is missing. There's also a demon waiting for her, and it tries to kill her. So right in the first couple chapters of the book, just all this action is happening while Claire is getting thrust into this world that she's never even heard of, that she didn't even know existed. So the main questions throughout this book are what happened to her mother and why all of a sudden does she have the sight to see this world? And how is she part of it? The overall plot of this book really reminds me of The Iron King by Julie Kagawa, with this girl just being thrust into this world and having to look for a family member. In The Iron King's case, it was her brother, and in The City of Bones, it is her mother. If you really liked The Iron King, I definitely suggest you pick up this book. This book is more of the paranormal side though, while The Iron King is more of the fantasy side. The book definitely starts off with a ton of action and tons of discoveries, and it seriously never stops. It keeps going, and even if there is a little downtime, it's filled with background and stories, and those are so vividly written that you are extremely entertained, and this book just flies by. Even though it's almost 500 pages, it doesn't feel like it because you don't want to put it down. It is so interesting and so fast-paced that you just eat this book up. The main character, Clary, in this book really is nothing special in my opinion with her personality, but she is very smart. If you as a reader are confused about something, she likely is too, and she will ask the questions to get the answers that kind of makes this book all really make sense. And she always fights for her side in arguments, which I really appreciate about her. She never goes with the flow, which makes her a really strong character in this book. The second main character is Jace. He is super sassy and super sexy and just hilarious. His dialogue is my favorite to read. It is just so great. Seriously, let me give you a little taste. Silver bullets, charms of protection, crucifixes, Star of David. Jesus, said Clary. I doubt he'd fit. Jace, she was appalled. Have you fallen in love with the wrong person yet? Jace said, Unfortunately, Lady of Heaven, my only true love remains myself. Dorothy roared at this. At least, she said, you don't have to worry about rejection, Jace Wallace. Not necessarily. I turn myself down occasionally just to keep it interesting. Jace always lightens up the mood with his sayings and his comebacks. It's really great, and it's seriously one of my favorite parts of the book, and they better put it into the movie. They better fill that movie up with Jace quotes. They better do it, or I will be greatly disappointed, because that is one of Jace's just personality traits, is just what he says. The other two main shadow hunters in this story are Alec and Isabel, and they are brother and sister, and I really like their parts in the story. They are super unique. Alec definitely has a lot of trouble with his confidence and just being who he is, and Isabel is sassy and prissy and beautiful, and they're just very different from each other, but they just make the story that much better. Another main character in this book is Simon. Even though he doesn't play a super huge role in this book, he's still present, especially through the first half of the book, and I personally think he's a sweetheart. I know I've heard some people say that he can be kind of annoying, but Clary is kind of just like leaving him behind for this new world, and I feel sorry for him. I personally think he's super cute and a sweetheart, and he's also very funny, and I hope he is more persistent in being a part of the next books in the series, and I personally really like him. Give him a shot, Clary. Come on. Give him a shot. There are definitely tons more important characters in this book, but this video would be forever long if I went into detail about all of them. But all the characters in this book are wonderful, so unique, so great, so funny, and I just love their roles in the book, and they are all very important. Cassandra Clare does a really great job of connecting you to these characters' feelings and their personalities, and you really grow attached to them. And I can only imagine that really grows in the rest of the series too. None of the characters really annoyed me except a little bit of Jace near the end of the story. When he makes a discovery, he's kind of just dismissive and goes with it, and he's like, alright, okay. He doesn't ask questions like Clary does. He just kind of goes with it and is very obedient to this one person, and it just kind of bothered me. I was like, what happened to the real Jace? But then he comes back and it's all good. So that was just that one little smidget that I found Jace annoying, but he was the only character that I really had an issue with any time in the story, and that was only a little bit. Speaking of the end, how many plot twists can you put in one book? Cassandra Clare threw me so hard in this book, I just couldn't believe my eyes, and I'm still in denial about one fact. I'm like, nope, mm-mm. And the next book is going to be like, oh, just kidding, that really didn't happen. But it doesn't look like it's turning out that way, and I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm pretty sure you guys who have read this book know exactly what I'm talking about, because you probably felt the exact same way, but these plot twists just threw me so hard. What's the truth anymore, you know? And it's just absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely amazing. I'm so excited for the movie. So excited. I watched the trailer like 10 times after I finished this book, like at 5 in the morning. If you haven't read this book, please pick it up before you see the movie. It is absolutely great, and I really hope they don't mess this book up. I really hope not. It doesn't look like they will be, but if it has any bits of cheesiness in it, I will punch someone because this book is not cheesy at all. Speaking of the movie, I kind of want to talk about the casting a little bit. I personally think the casting is great. I know Alex Pettyfer was supposed to play Jace in the beginning, which he is gorgeous. One of my #1 men to look at, you know. Just if he's in a movie, I'm going to go see it just for his face. I don't care if his acting's bad. I don't care what the story's about. I'm going to go see it. And then when I found out that this other guy named Jamie Bauer was going to play Jace, I was kind of skeptical. I was like, okay, but I have an open mind because Jace in the book is sexy because of what he says and his persona and his actions, not necessarily his looks. I know his blonde hair is like the main thing, you know, as Jace on the cover with his like blonde hair, but I don't think he is really supposed to be drop dead gorgeous. I know he definitely sounds like it in the book because of what he says and what he does, but not necessarily what he looks like. And they've got the blonde hair right. That's all I really care about, as long as this kid can act well. By the way, Jamie played Caius in the Twilight movies. Did you know that? Did you know that? Mind blown? Because mine was a little bit when I found that out. But anyways, I'm super excited for the movie. I think the casting is great. This book is awesome. I'm going to definitely read the next. Leave a comment below on how I should read the companion series because I really have no idea. Should I just read all this series first? Read it how it's published? Drop it now and just read the other series and then come back to this after I finish it? I don't really know, but leave a comment below. 5 out of 5 stars for this book. Definitely read it if you haven't. It is amazing. So fast paced, so great, and definitely check it out because it is worth it. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!